I'm TV6 meteorologist Eric DeBroca, and this is your weather on demand. Well, very active evening across the UP. A lot of weather changes happening. First of all, a big rainfall occurring in the eastern portion of the UP, out in Luce County and also Chippewa, heading towards the Mackinac Bridge, easily putting down a half to a quarter of an inch of rainfall is most likely out of this one. Of course, this passed through the central UP, including Marquette and Escanaba, a couple of hours ago, so Saturday afternoon and early evening. But look off to the west. We do have some clearing. It's not going to be completely clear, but it's definitely not going to be raining the entire night, so keep that in mind. Also a top story, which will kind of creep its way up to #1, especially on Monday afternoon specifically, are the winds. Winds are already gusting 21 miles an hour out of Sawyer. You get the idea, general southerly direction across the southeast portion. Look off to the north and west. We're already starting to change directions out in Ironwood, 12 miles an hour sustained wind. And also out of Copper Harbor, we have a 23-mile-an-hour wind gust. Tomorrow, though, these are going to be the huge story, at times gusting 30 and even 40 miles per hour in the Keweenaw Peninsula. Would not be shocked if there was some kind of wind advisory that was in effect through tomorrow afternoon, especially for Houghton and even Keweenaw counties and areas right along Lake Superior shoreline as well. For today, we topped out at 64 degrees, slightly above the average of 62. But what really made us above average, at least from a winning standpoint, was 51 degrees was our overnight low. But I find this pretty interesting. 75 degrees is now our record. So yeah, when we're getting records now in the mid-70s, you know we're getting late in the year. Look at these time for the sunrise and sunsets. This is for the UP, our autumnal equinox, 12 hours of daylight, and it's due to we're so far north that it's just a couple of days delayed from where the Earth has its astronomical equinox. Let's talk about the warm September, though, that we've had. Today was the 15th consecutive day at or above average, and so it's been very warm. As a matter of fact, only 3 days this month have been below average. And when you add all that together, we're about 3.5 degrees above average for the entire month, which is actually the most we've been since March of this year, so about 6 months. And also we've been very wet, almost 2 inches above average for the rainfall. And we can expect about that in some spots, another 2 inches of rain by the time we get to Wednesday morning. And then the system will be out across the east and we'll be all done with this weather system. But for now, we're just getting started. Much cooler air is going to be working on in as well. Low 50s in Norway House and also in Winnipeg, and much cooler to the north of that as well. And that's going to be streaming on in as we get a batch of Canadian October level air. You'll feel that Monday and certainly Tuesday, really the first half of the week. Wider picture of the rainfall is associated with front #1. And really there's 2 fronts. The other cold front is way back here yet in Minnesota and also in southern Ontario. And that's where the much cooler air is going to be coming on in for Monday afternoon. But this is an occluded front. That just means we're going to get a lot of rainfall in relatively short period of time because it's not going to move all that much. You'll notice here's Monday morning and the wind starts to pick up once again. Notice how tight these isobars are really packed together. And it's going to be for a very gusty day all the way through Tuesday. Then they'll start to subside. But check out this low pressure system. It's a pretty strong one as well for this time of the year, although we do get some of these for fall, which is not all that atypical. But then watch Monday night into Tuesday morning, it starts to sag southward right over the UP. So that means a threat of showers and even heavy rainfall. And yes, it's cold enough aloft. We're talking about lake effect rainfall, especially near Lake Superior. Now, as far as temperatures go throughout the day on Monday, very chilly. We're only going to be in the 50s in most locations. Another location here. This is the one I wanted to show you here for the rainfall. It actually tracks out as Tuesday afternoon. Off to the east, looks like the bullseye for this storm. And then Wednesday morning, we're close to 2-inch totals in many areas of the UP. Your TV 6-day forecast now does feature some very chilly days. Monday is going to be a really raw, chilly, and pretty miserable day if you're outside. We do pick up more rainfall on Tuesday, though. Really, we're not out of the woods until Wednesday. Still a mostly cloudy day. Really cool along Lake Superior shoreline in the upper 50s still on Wednesday. 60 right across the central and a little bit warmer in the south. Thursday, we get some much needed sunshine and drying as temperatures warm slightly into the low 60s.